right? It's serious. Hi and welcome to our latest edition of Get in the Habit with myself, David Finch, and the wonderful co-host, Sue Allsworth. And
hi,
today, I'm rabbiting on there still. Sorry, Sue. And today we've got a lovely guest, which is Liz. To give a full title on our podcast on the Zoom, it's Yoga with Liz in Kent and online. Woo! Welcome along, Liz. And you have a fantastic background on the Zoom. So this goes out in two places. So we have a YouTube channel, which is the Authentic Smile YouTube channel. So people can see your background. And people who are listening on the podcast, maybe on Google or wherever they get their podcasts, they won't be able to see this. So they might nip over to YouTube and see your amazing background. Tell me more about that background.
Okay, well, this is my beautiful friend, a beautiful being called Leo, and his name is Leo the Lockdown Lion. Right. And he was created in the first lockdown. I am an artist. I've been an artist for 30 all my life, really. I've been creating art in all sorts of forms, particularly painting bodies is one of my fortes. But in the lockdown, this was all sort of curtailed slightly. So he came through, and he's actually a batik. The original of him is a huge batik that I created. And I learned the art while I was traveling. And one of my other passions is traveling. And I was in Kuala Lumpur and I learned how to do batik. And he actually is my second ever batik. And he came through in lockdown. And as you can probably see, quite an inspiring creature, bringing through power, courage, wisdom. Basically, his message was for everyone to connect to their inner wisdom, their, the heart with the connection you can see there, the crystalline in the third eye. So it was just basically about giving people strength and courage to connect and, go there and do whatever they needed to do in that time. That was basically his message. And, to walk with people, give them strength, courage, power, all of that really inspirational stuff. So that's a very short review, Ray. Sorry, you didn't ask
that's
me
great. No, that's fantastic. Yeah. And he's now for people like me, right, who may not be as artistic as you, Liz, what's a batik?
A batik, okay, yes. It's a so basically what we do is we take a cotton, special type of cotton, we stretch it over a frame, we sketch out the design, and then we heat wax, we pour it through a tool which is a tajang, and then we fill it with these beautiful bright. The reason I love batik is look at the colours. They're just so vibrant, so stunning. I mean, he has now been made into yoga pants, journals. We made masks from him, banners for people to hang in their homes. So he's a whole range, which is actually my other company, which is Follies. He's part of Follies Artworks. So he's one of our pieces. And I'm actually working at the moment. I've got a beautiful dragon coming through called Desmond.
Wow.
Can I share? Do you want to hear about Desmond?
Go on. Yeah, go on. I'm interested now.
Desmond holds an orb that was gifted to him by Merlin.
Wow.
And this orb literally clears any illusion. So it's almost like my sort of visual of it. It's almost like I see it like a laser, like the energy just comes out and it literally just blasts and clears any illusion so that the individual or whoever watches the process, buys it, uses it, looks at it, anything like that, it allows us to blast through anything that is not real. So any of this illusion, this story, this stuff that's not real that goes on in our worlds, it allows us to see through that. And once again, with the journey from Leo, connecting into one's, soul, heart, truth, basically. So he's a I call him, he's like a slayer. He's a slayer. He's slaying any untruth.
Amazing.
So he's coming. He's the next piece.
So you haven't got a sketch yet of him, Desmond. You've got nothing to show us as such, have you?
I have. Do you want me to quickly go and get it?
Go on, go and get it, Liz. Yeah.
Watch
this is amazing, isn't it? Now, who would have thought? Who would have thought, Sue, that all of a sudden we're talking about, Leo there, right? And then Desmond,
I knew today could go in any direction. And I know, Liz, obviously we've met during lockdown in the last few months. But I knew that obviously you've not met Liz.
No,
but I
she's
knew
amazing character.
Liz has got she's like me. We're full of energy and a bit of this and a bit of that, and enthusiastic. So I knew that. I'm glad Leo's made an appearance for today.
That was amazing. Yeah, because oh, here we go. Yeah,
here we go. So if you are listening,
it's just a small one then.
I have got sketches of him, but I couldn't find them. So this is Desmond coming through, and you can see he's got his big eyes again. It's very much about the eyes, and he's holding that. He's holding wealth within his. Dragon is huge. I love the. I don't know if you can see. So that's the waxing there.
Yeah.
Right.
Start, and that's the. So this is the process of how it's developed. And then we'll fill him with the ink.
It's amazing.
So that's part
That is really good, yeah. Well, maybe another time when you finish Desmond, you can come back on and show us Desmond. I think that'd be really good.
Yes,
anyone that's just listening today, definitely hop over to Authentic Smile or MBS Habit Studio on Facebook. You'll see the link there to watch the video if you're interested in seeing the reveal of the beginnings of Desmond and the dragon.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know why it's called Desmond, but hey, that's his name.
I've got now a Beatles song in my head.
Oh, go on.
Well, what is it? Desmond was the man.
You
say the word Desmond.
Right.
Oh, right. Okay.
You're in the band. What is it? Obla di obla dog.
Obla di, that's it. Yeah. Oh, mate. Oh dear. So look, Liz, you've shared so much with us already, but that's okay.
We didn't know that was coming, but that's
brilliant,
isn't it? It's just whatever comes in, isn't
it? And that's really like our podcast is exactly that. It's whatever happens. But we kind of have a loose theme, which is around habits, really, because it's called Getting a Habit. So why not keep that theme going? So can you tell us about some of your habits or habits that you like to impart on other people that you try to get maybe through your yoga, or do you encourage other people to do the paintings that you do as well? Is that something else that you do, or is that just for yourself?
I do. So there's a couple of questions there. So first of all, my own personal habits that I love to share with people. You probably see Yoga with Liz in Kenton online. I have also got a free yoga YouTube channel. Right. So anyone can go on and do yoga with me. So yoga has been a big part of my life for 35 years. I find that for me, yoga's unity, it's connection with self, which I think is really important. It allows us to come back. Again, I'm saying, I can hear myself saying the same thing. It allows us to come back to who we are. It gives us that space to come into our center and not be pulled off into this. You should be, you would be, you could be. Actually, this is who I am, and this is amazing, this is fabulous, and that the treasure is within, and it allows us to come back to that sort of like internal treasure. So that's one thing. So yoga and breathwork is fab. I teach a couple of times a week, and I just love it. I love sharing that with people, and I think that's something I love to do. I love to share. But the reason I mention my channel is you can go on there free, but there's also something else that I have done for 10 years every single day without fail, wherever in the world I have been, which has been challenging sometimes, is on my channel there is also a very simple process of juicing. So every single day I start my morning with water, and I know we were having a laugh about this earlier, but we'll come back to this later. I start my morning with as much water as I can, a really lovely flush of water. And then I will have a ginger and apple juice, and I will also have a green juice. And that is my go-to start for the day that I have done every single morning for 10 years. And, touch wood, ginger is probably the best antifungal, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, the best natural thing you can take. The body, it's the best thing you can have to fight any dis-ease in the body is ginger. It's a natural product. I make it once a week. I freeze it, and there is a free videos on how to do all of that on my YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to get into a habit that I think would really serve their health, I think that would be a really, really good one for people. As I say, it's all out there free. It's all, for me, it's just about sharing the wisdom, the knowledge, empowering, we just sort of, and if it works for me, I think that's how I've developed my businesses. If I do something and I love it and it works for me, I want to share it with other people. End of. And that's,
we always teach what we want to learn as well, I think, don't we? I meant to say that to on our podcast that we did last week with Dr. Bridget, because we were talking about things and how we do habits and what we do, and it quite often is we always end up wanting to teach what we also need to learn, because we were saying none of us are a finished product. We've all still got our own sort of issues and quirks and things that we need to develop and discover within ourselves, and you're drawn to do one thing and then you go another way because that's where you changed and evolved, and I love that fluidity of being able to, for us to be able to adapt to where it is that we're at and what we want to do, and actually saying, do you know what, I might have done this for a while, but I want to try something else now. It's okay to change, isn't it?
100%. And that's interesting, Sue, because as I was talking earlier, I heard myself saying the same thing to myself like twice about coming back to the centre. Don't take me notes. So it's obviously, as it totally, just mirroring what you're saying. It is that, isn't it? That's obviously at the moment I'm loving my yoga. I'm loving this because it brings me back to that place within me. I'm very much, I'm a midlife woman, and I'm very much, my journey at the moment is helping midlife women to rise, because, hormones, menopause, kids leaving home, pandemic. I mean, I lost my whole business. 30 years I've spent building up this amazing business. And, it knocked me for, gosh, talk about loss of identity. It literally knocked the stuffing out of me. And I was, it knocked me for 6, But I've learned how to sort of come out of that. And, we all have challenges in our lives, and we always will do, whether it be a pandemic or losing a parent or any of those things. And, I think if you've got that and you've learned that, and you can then sort of help other people and share that with other people, ways that work. And as you're saying, David, something that I adore, and another habit is I try to daily work with colour. I try to be creative daily. And some people would say, oh well, I'm not creative, but actually yes you are. Everyone is creative, even cooking a beautiful meal, I don't know, going to the shop, choosing a wine, creating a meal, something simple like that. People garden, they're amazing creatives, and they go, oh no, I'm not an artist. Yes, actually, you are an artist.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's it. I used to say, I was one of those people that say, I'm not creative, I'm not artistic. Now, I have learned that, I have learned to say that artistic is not my natural talent. Okay, but I have learned that absolutely everyone can be creative. I mean, I've done, even with vision boards, you don't have to be, with the journal journey books that I've produced, I've always said, you don't have to be Picasso. It's not about being Picasso. When you can let go of something being perfect, being creative is allowing you to express your emotions and where you're at. You can do that, as you say, through cooking, through putting together a lovely menu, choosing all the right foods, through something more arty, through poetry. There's so many different ways. And I think we're taught in schools that creative is art, and that it's not actually. They are very separate, connected, but very separate genres. You know, I don't have to be a musician, but I can still be a creative person, you know, because there's creative is that umbrella for everything, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And also, I
You know,
think
I
as
never
well,
thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way before. That's actually a really good example. You don't have to be, you know, an artist, like you say, to be creative. You can be creative in so many different ways. And your example of cooking a meal is amazing because, you know, my wife's like, she chucks loads of stuff in. She's got this big cupboard full of all these different, I don't even know what's in there, all these spices and God knows what. I don't know what's in it, right? It's like she picks one out and she goes, oh, shake a bit of that in there, chuck another bit of that in there. And and it's always amazing. No doubt about it. It's always amazing. And, you know, I never go, oh, what's that in there? You know, it's always, but she is so creative. Me, if I tried to cook something in that same way, I'd be like, oh, what do I do with this? What have I got to have? You know, and I can't have that freedom. But I think you just said you could have that freedom to just have a go.
But also, David, if you look at what you're creating here, so you may not say you're not an artist, you're not creative, but if you look at what you're doing here, you're creating this that is being shared with all of these people. So it's just a different journey, you know. Everyone's got their
form of creation,
their form of it, you know.
That's right.
And one of the big things I think for me is that I try and portray when I'm working with people. We do workshops, all sorts of things. It's not about the destination. So it's not about, you know, this today, this creation that we are making, this is what it's about. It's about us three joining together and creating. This is the moment we're creating. So it's not about the final podcast and how many people watch it for me or the thing. It's about this moment now. It's about this journey. And that's what I try and get over to people, you know, people that come and do, I don't know, say, I mean, we do glass painting workshops, we do all sorts of things. People that come and do that, I say, that's not what it's about. It's not about actually going home and go, it is, yes, as well, don't get me wrong, it's lovely to have that. But, you know, we did wreath making at Christmas, which was fab, because it's not only about having something on your door that you've made, which is wonderful, but it's more about actually the process of doing that. And that's very much how I think about life. It's not about, you know, goals are great, let's all set goals, let's have something to work towards, definitely, but it is definitely the journey. It's about embracing the journey, enjoying the journey, and just
It is definitely that. It's funny because you said embracing the journey. You can't see it here, but in the next room, in my therapy room, I've got this wonderful picture that when I saw it, I thought, I've got to have that. It's a map of the world, and it says across it, "Embrace your journey." And that I just went, wow, I've got to have that. That is in the therapy room straight away. You know,
I love 6 degrees
inspiration.
I love it.
And it's kind of like a beaten up old frame, you know, like it's brand new, but it was you know, that kind of effect. It's like as if it's been around the world basically, and it's had a journey. And I thought, that is just got to be there, and it's in pride of place actually. As soon as you walk in the therapy room, it's there. Embrace your journey.
Do you like to travel? That's interesting as well. Do you like to travel?
I do, I do, but I'm not very well travelled. But I do enjoy the places that we've been. You know, I mean, I would love to travel more, and I think that's it sounds a strange thing. I didn't actually go abroad until I was 30. How about that? That's weird, isn't it? You know, I just never had the opportunity. You know, there was lots of things that happened in my life that when I was younger that I just didn't really have that opportunity to go abroad. And I think it's a different world now. When I was a kid, my dad took me on holidays abroad. Yeah, you know, we took our son abroad. You know, that's the done thing now, isn't it? And you know, my son takes his kids abroad. But when I was a kid, we went to Butlins in Clacton,
I went to Wales.
We went to
Dovercourt.
You know, we shall again.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was, and now actually they're all going to do the holidays that I had when I was a kid now.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how it just sort of like circles around.
Yeah. So you'll get a Finchy holiday now this year, you know, stay at home holiday. But actually, I mean, Britain, all joking aside, Britain is a beautiful place, isn't it?
Do you know what? The one thing that I got from Peru the one thing that I got from my time in Peru, that when I was ready to come back home, I fell in love with England for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
Because I went not fit. England never felt like it fit, and I hadn't found my tribe, I suppose, and all of these different reasons. And I didn't like, you never like where you come from when you're younger anyway, do you? It's always a rabbit hole and all of that. You have all that dialogue that we use about our places. And it wasn't until I came back that I could really appreciate England fully, and especially the little corner that I live in Folkestone in Kent. As much as we get some of the bad weather, we don't get it really bad like a lot of the places up north and west and different things. And it's just like, I'm like, oh my God, I've actually almost got into the habit of falling in love with my own country again and wanting to. I've not wanted to travel much since coming back from Peru, and I haven't actually been abroad much since then. Once to America to see family, sort of thing, an Ireland for a course, but that was it. And it's because I'm like, I'm looking forward to being able to get back into the habit of random English road trips, because there is so much in England, as you say, Dave. When you have travelled and been to seen some magnificent sites, Machu Picchu, and Liz, you'll have seen some massive sites, but you actually don't have to go that far from your own back door to have the same wow factor. It just depends on how you choose to use your eyes to see. Would you agree with that, Liz?
100%. I mean, I have found in lockdown, I mean, I've lived where I live now. I mean, we live in a beautiful space. We've got beautiful land around us. It's very ancient. We had a Saxon king actually lived here, which is just magnificent on the site. I call it a site because we are living on I feel it's a very sacred site, and I feel that's sorry, I'm having to share this, sorry, it's just coming. This is one of the reasons when I came here, I'm here because I'm keeper of the land. So yeah, anyway, that's another story. But
you have to tell us that next time when you come back with Desmond.
There are I have discovered the most beautiful walks. The N227. I remember it because it's the A227 is my main road. The N227 is the footpath. It is the most joyous footpath. It goes through styles, and there are these beautiful at the moment. The spring primroses, the wild, like the pale yellow primroses.
Pale yellow,
absolutely adorn this beautiful rolling slope, and it's just the most glorious walk, and it's almost like a secret. My legs are going all fizzy as I'm talking about it. You know what I mean? I can feel the energy of it, which is so lovely. I know, like my hips, it's lovely. It's just great. It's like a real sort of magical space. So yeah, so it is. I found some amazing spots having walked, and as you say, so it's about just seeing things with new eyes, and creating new adventures. If you're not in a position, whatever position if you're not in a position you can travel somewhere, then just create an adventure. Create again. I'm talking about creating.
You are very creative.
Artist of your life. Paint whatever it is you choose. Paint your
each day. But isn't each day a canvas, Liz? Each day is just a canvas, and we get to put whatever we want on that canvas. In theory, we actually do get to choose. There's some that does come. Life as and as I was, if not with you, I think you was just saying, if it wasn't a pandemic, there would be something else, because that's what happens in life. Something is always sort of happening. But other than that, that's not the main feature on your canvas. Your canvas is what you can choose and you want to put onto it in whatever creative. And it could be a bit of cooking, a bit of walking, a bit of podcasting. It is all, life is how you create every single minute of your day is you being creative. Whether that's just sitting watching TV, you're still creating your life, whether that's yoga or meditation or coloring or whatever it is that you want to do. That each minute, each second is there for you to create however you choose.
Yeah, lovely.
I think that's a great theme to be creative. You know, it's fantastic. I think that's a really good theme. Liz, we know that you've got to get on and move. Probably another podcast because you're so famous, you know, and just leave us as we are, you know. So, so look,
do my thing, and if people want to join me, I love it.
Well, what I'd love to do is in the notes that we do, very short notes with our podcast, and Sue can put is to a link to perhaps your YouTube channel as well, so people can see how creative you actually are. I think that would be a lovely thing. So we'll make sure we put that into the notes today as well.
Pop it through to me on a messenger.
Liz, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No problem.
Yeah. I think, you know, today has been lovely, and I know it's short and sweet for our listeners, but we like to keep them short anyway, our podcast, because, you know, short and interesting. I think that's a fantastic thing. I'd love to have you back again. Maybe Desmond's finished and we see Desmond, the dragon, you know, I think that'd be amazing as well. So let's do that in the future. But Liz, thanks very much for joining us today. It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you and getting an insight into your world.
Pleasure. Thank you so much once again. So lovely to see your beautiful, authentic, smiley face. Lovely to meet you, David. And just to everyone out there, just namaste, my beautiful fellow adventurers and life explorers. Have a blessed day. And thank you so much for having me on. Brilliant. It's been wonderful.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much.